Facing off against Everdark Libra in Nightreign will put your patience and determination to the limit. This fight can be as short as 5 minutes or as long as 40 minutes, especially because of how much this fight relies on teamwork. So in this video, I'll be sharing my experience with Everdark Libra, as well as covering a few situations that happen in this boss fight and what you can do to overcome them. I'll also provide a few examples of mistakes made during this fight so you know what to avoid. Now without further ado, let's see if we can make the Everdark Libra boss fight any less stressful and chaotic than it already is. Okay, so first off, I want to show a few clips of a boss fight that I had with Libra solo and just go over a little bit of his moveset. I'm not going to go into detail on all of his moves because the real struggle is with the Condemned, and that's way harder in trios. I'm just going to cover two very common moves that he uses throughout the whole boss fight, and these are spells, and then I'm going to dive right into the whole trio aspect. So whenever you see Libra do this move right here and ball his fist, he's going to spawn a sigil under you and it will explode, but there will be visual and audio cues for when to dodge these sigils. For when Libra's teleporting, if you see a yellow aura or a sigil next to you, do not dodge immediately. He will hit you. Instead, wait a brief moment until you see a translucent version of Libra appear, and then you can dodge. Now that we've gone over those two common moves that Libra will be using throughout this fight, let's take a look at how it will differ in a trio setting. I'll be sharing a few clips of situations and explaining what happened during the boss fight to make it go in that direction. I'll also talk about what could have been done for it to go better. So our first scenario is based on the decisions you make with Libra right here, and how one decision can impact your whole team. And that decision is, I wish to fight at utmost strength. So when you make a deal with Libra, be cautious of this decision. So let's see what happens. While my team is making their deals, I'm checking to see if anybody has least likely. I see that Recluse has it, so I know my role during this fight is going to be to take aggro. But whoever has the least likely, their job will be to deal damage towards Libra because the Condemned are going to be looking at me most of the time. So as soon as the fight starts, I notice something already. He's got armor and he's got his enhanced spells. This is pretty big in the beginning. This will slow down the fight because me and the other guy who didn't choose this will deal 10% less damage to Libra. So it's not the best decision. Damage output's reduced, Libra's spamming his spells, and as you can see, the fight's immediately messy, and Libra's a little more aggressive right now. So even with Libra's buff, my team is still holding up pretty well, but we're starting to slip. And with phase 2 coming up, this can be where everything starts to fall apart. So pay attention to what's going on right here. This is where we make our first mistake. We end up focusing entirely on the summons, and nobody's actually pressuring Libra. So instead of the fight progressing any further, we're at a halt because we're just reacting to what's in front of us. And if you watch Libra's health bar, 3 minutes later, and it's barely moved. And on top of that, the player that has least likely is the one who's going down the most here. Even though they're supposed to be safe, they're struggling the most. And that's because they're focusing on the summons instead of staying on Libra. And by attacking the summons, even with least likely, they're gonna draw that unwanted attention towards themselves. Least likely does not make you safe from aggression. It just means that the enemies will prefer your teammates over you. But if you're attacking an enemy that your teammates are not attacking as well, that enemy will turn towards you. So instead, this is what you want to be doing here. The player with least likely should be the one staying on Libra and keeping consistent pressure on the boss, while the rest of the team manages the summons and controls the space. And when I have least likely, this is how my role changes. I'm focusing on Libra and keeping consistent damage instead of getting pulled into the fight with the summons. And because I have least likely, I'm given the most freedom to stay and deal damage to the boss. And this is what will keep your fight progressing instead of coming to a standstill. But realistically, most runs won't go this way. Sometimes your team's already facing pressure, people are going down, and the whole situation is getting out of control. And if you're not careful, this can be where the run ends. So in a situation like this, it's important that you do not panic. Instead, create some distance between you, Libra, and any summons actively pursuing you. Your focus in this position should not be to rush Libra and try to get as much damage on him as you can, but instead, play more defensively and work on regaining stability and control of the situation. As a result of this, the fight will be made longer, but by moving towards a more cautious playstyle, you will be able to avoid taking any unnecessary damage and using any flasks that you could need for the fight later on. So it is worth it to be patient. It's also crucial that you don't zero in on reviving your teammates right away. If it's far too dangerous, back off and wait for an opening before you attempt to revive anybody. This is especially important if you're the last one standing, because your survival is top priority. You should only revive someone if you can safely pick them up and get out of harm's way. Hopefully now, your team can work together towards progressing the fight. Now, let's address the elements of this battle that contribute to the chaotic circumstances. Starting off with Libra's behavior. Throughout the fight, especially in the beginning, Libra will mostly stay back and cast spells or modifiers while his summons do the heavy lifting. Every now and then he will teleport to you and try to attack you. To deal with this, try to keep Libra in your field of view even when you're fighting summons. Use poison or rot to afflict Libra if he keeps getting away from you, and if he is mostly too far away when there's an opportunity to attack him, keep a bow on you to pressure him from a distance. It may seem like it's only chip damage, but over time, it will add up. Libra's behavior isn't the only frustrating thing in this fight. We also have to deal with his modifiers in addition to the summons. The inescapable eye is by far the most irritating one in my opinion. He'll spawn an eye above you that builds up madness, lasts for 30 seconds, and he can do it repeatedly. I've had him do it up to 5 times in a row. This is also the only modifier that forces you to chase down golden nuggets to preserve your sanity. Keep clarifying boluses on you, in case you can't reduce your madness buildup in time. And as a last resort, use an uplifting or an opaline bubble tier right before you're hit with madness, in case someone attacks you while you're vulnerable. If you have neither of those, try to stay close to Libra in hopes that he spawns sigils under you or casts a turret in your direction, and then you can pick up the nuggets from that. When Libra starts a riot, he summons twice as many condemned as usual. These summons will fight amongst each other and offer you a small bit of relief from the condemned's aggression. If you still have any condemned following you that you don't want to deal with, you can draw them near the rioters, who will attack them and take that attention off of you. Also, if you deal enough stance damage to Libra, he'll go into a rage and attack his own summons. This can also happen when Libra preaches madness. All damage you, Libra, and enemy condemned deal will apply madness, so try your best to hit Libra as much as you can to afflict him with it. During this fight, Libra will also cast a wall that divides the arena into 4s. You can keep Libra from casting the wall with ults from Iron Eye, Wilder, Guardian, and Executor's Beast Claw, and the ult from Undertaker. And you can use a cocktail from Recluse that has Lightning, Fire, and Holy. You can also jump the explosions from Libra Sky Clusters. Regardless of who has least likely, reviving somebody will draw aggression, and you can use this to your advantage. If there are too many summons divided amongst you and your other teammate who are left standing, you can hit your down teammate a few times or pick them up and draw that attention towards you, giving your other teammate a bit of leeway to attack Libra. During the fight with Everdark Libra, there is another mistake that you have to look out for, and this one revolves around picking your teammates up. Reviving isn't bad, but if your main focus is picking someone up and not the environment around you, you end up sacrificing yourself for that teammate. And if you're the only one picking someone up, especially when there's pressure from the summons and Libra, your other teammate will be struggling with that while you're trying to pick somebody up. The best option here would be to fight the boss, clear the area of enemy condemned, and then both you and your other teammate will be able to revive the one who's down. So in this fight right here, Duchess is struggling and she ends up going down a lot. And Recluse is so focused on picking her up that she risks herself for Duchess, and she ends up getting 3 bars alongside Duchess, even though she had least likely. And since our attention was divided in this boss fight, our coordination as a team was poor, and the condemned started to overwhelm us on the battlefield. That leaves me at my final word of advice for you. If both of your teammates are down and reviving them seems impossible, the first thing that you will do is run away from the crowd and try to lure Libra out in order to get a few hits on him. Play it safe and try not to risk taking damage to deal damage to Libra. Every bit of health matters in this situation. And here, I do take damage, but even though I'm taking damage, I'm trying my best not to panic in this situation. And when I take damage, I'm gonna back off, reposition, and let Libra come to me. When his health is low like this, he's the most aggressive and he will teleport constantly. So what I'm doing is using a hit and run technique, and I'm gonna get a few hits in on him, even though it's just chip damage. Back off when the condemned are getting close and get as far away as I can, and I'm gonna get a few hits on him and do it again. And here, even though he has so little health left, getting greedy at this point right here could be the end of the whole game. Even though I still have 6 cents and, I can risk it for that, I'm gonna be patient and steadily make my way to the end of the fight bit by bit. I'm not gonna rush. I'm gonna stick to that tactic of repositioning. Back off if I take damage. Recover, reposition. I'm out of heals. I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice my level for it and keep going. And here, at this point, in this technique, I'm not gonna guarantee that it's gonna work all the time, but when all else fails, it does not hurt to try. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you learned something from it. And if you have any questions, you can comment down below. If you have any extra inputs or tips that you want to share with anybody, feel free to leave it down below too. If you want to see anything else, let me know. And as always, have a good day or you have a good night. See you later.